Dillian was the first person I asked to fight in Cardiff because the two people who brought the best out of me entertainment-wise were Dillian and Klitschko. Klitschko, I was buzzing for a rematch because of the type of fight it was. It was great. Dillian, the same reason. It was just a buzz. Everyone had a good time. Let's look back at certain careers. If you can pick memorable nights, Dillian would be one and Klitschko would be one. Out of my career, there should be 4 or 5 memorable nights, and we've already ticked 2 off. Those are the words of IBF and WBA heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn has said in interviews countless times that Joshua still wants to fight Dillian Whyte. I mean, he's been asking Eddie Hearn if he can fight Dillian Whyte almost continuously since their first fight. I don't just think that it's to do with the fact that Dillian brought entertainment. I think that there is a deep, deep dislike, maybe even a hatred that Anthony Joshua has for Dillian Whyte for whatever reason. He really don't like the guy, and as brutal as his knockout of Whyte was in the first fight, it's like he wasn't satisfied. Even after he did that, straight away, he wanted to hurt him again. He wanted him to get back up again so he could knock him out again. A lot of guys, when they come through a tough fight like AJ came through against Dillian Whyte, they don't want to get back in the ring with that guy anytime soon again. But AJ did. AJ just really don't like this guy. And I think the dislike that he has for Dillian Whyte has been there since their first fight in the amateurs. If you watch that fight when Dillian drops AJ, Dillian's kind of goading AJ when he's on the floor, kind of taunting him. And that, I believe, stuck in AJ's mind. The fact that Dillian was taunting him when he dropped him and during the fight, like smiling at him and smirking and what have you. And AJ just felt like, you know what, this guy, I don't like him. I don't like the way he made me feel. He tried to humiliate me. So I want to get him back tenfold. And yeah, I've got him back with this knockout in the pro game, but I want to do it again. He just seems to have this insatiable desire to keep on knocking out Dillian Whyte. If they do fight again, how do you guys see the fight going? Will it be another barn burner? Or will it be a much easier fight for Anthony Joshua this time around? People say Joshua has improved since the first fight, and he let tactics go out the window in the first fight and left himself open and vulnerable to get hit with that big left hook from Dillian. And that is all true. He has improved, and he did fight a fight which was uncharacteristic of him to be that reckless. But at the same time, Dillian was injured in the first fight. He was in terrible condition. Should a rematch occur, you have to imagine Dillian's going to be in a lot better shape. So, will that be able to cancel out the improvements that Joshua has made? Most people will probably say no. One thing which is in Joshua's favor, I mean, there are many things in Joshua's favor going into a Dillian Whyte rematch, but one of the things that's really in his favor is the fact that Joshua has been fighting a way higher level of opposition than Dillian Whyte's been fighting since they first fought. Joshua's been fighting, the likes of Dominic Brazil, Vladimir Klitschko, and now Carlos Takam, whereas Dillian Whyte has been fighting, who has he been fighting? Derek Chisora, I guess that was a decent opponent, but other than Chisora, he's really been fighting nobody, So that, I think, don't really bode well for Dillian Whyte, the level of competition. This fight here against Hellenius, that's a step in the right direction. At least he's fighting somebody tall and hopefully someone with ambition. So we'll see how he does against Hellenius, and I guess you're only as good as your last performance, especially in the eyes of most boxing fans. So they might see Joshua Whyte, the rematch, one way now, but after Joshua and Dillian Whyte have their fights on the weekend, they might see it a totally different way. Imagine Joshua has loads of trouble with Takam, and Dillian Whyte comes out and blows Hellenius out inside 4 rounds and looks good doing it. People will be like, you know what? Dillian Whyte's got a good chance in the rematch against AJ, come to think of it. So we'll see how they do on the weekend. Anyway, drop your comments in the comment section below and let me know how you feel about everything I've talked about in this video. Alright, it's happening, I'm out.